Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another moment of, hey Audrey, let's do math. Let's see what's going on. All right, so one, sorry that I left you guys hanging like a crazy person yesterday. Now, let me trust you. Hey, I haven't seen you in forever. How are you, country girl? Good evening. So, yes, yesterday was not feeling well, and I can tell you what the culprit was. If you guys ever have this, okay, especially here in the States, icebreakers are usually pretty good. I was in a rush. I grabbed these. I thought I was grabbing my usual kind. Then I popped in my mouth, and next thing you know, I was foaming at the mouth like a rabid dog. And next thing you know, I was really, really sick. And I was like just trying to hold on. So I'm feeling so much better. And the reason why I'm just have this now is just to show you, do not buy this. Okay? No, do not jump up here. Okay, let me grab my cat. I thought you were good. No, go back over here. That's where you need to be. Okay, everything is good. All right, so what we were supposed to do yesterday, we're going to do tonight. So we're going to be looking at factoring trinomials in two ways. So yesterday, or actually the day before yesterday, we were actually doing grouping. So let's just do a quick review on grouping, because some people like to use the grouping when we go a little bit further. All right, so with the grouping, so let's say there was 4x squared minus 6x plus 6x. Oh, hello, cat. Okay. Love you, but you guys stay outside. Cats are so unpredictable. And plus, you scared the crap out of me. Plus 6x minus 9. All right, so we're going to review a little bit on grouping. So if you recall correctly, yes, I am. Thank you so much. So if we recall about grouping, we will always take the first two terms and the last two terms. So what we're doing is finding the GCF or each of the parentheses. So let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit more. There we go. All right, so when we take the GCF of each parenthesis, so I am going to cover up the second part so we can focus on the first part. So 4x squared minus 6x squared. So 4 and 6, they have 2 in common. The 4 has 2 x's, the 6 has 1 x. So they both have at least 1 x in common. So in order for us to fill in what's supposed to be inside the parenthesis, we have to divide our original by the GCF. So 4 divided by 2 gives me 2. And we have 2 x's up here, so that's x squared. And we take 1 x out, that means we have 1 x left. The minus sign comes down. And then 6 divided by 2 gives me 3. And then we had 1 x in the original, and we pulled 1 x out, so we don't have any x's left. So what remains inside the parenthesis is a 2x minus 3. So that takes care of that side. Okay. All right, excellent, good. So now we're going to do the other side. So since the leading coefficient, which is 6, since that's positive, we're bringing down our plus sign. And now, what number does 6 and 9 have in common? Hey, Jen. Jen squared. Okay. Sasha's saying 3. Okay. So 6 and 9 have 3 in common, not 3x, but just 3. The reason why it's just the 3 is because the 9 doesn't have an x. So now I'm going to divide my original by that 3. So 6x divided by 3 gives me 2x. Bring down the minus sign. And then 9 divided by 3 gives me 3. All right. Right, good. Hey, Native Ash, how are you? Welcome back. She's like, I'm always here. So now, if you notice, inside the parentheses, that's basically exactly the same, and that's how this should be. So your GCF for this line is going to be the parentheses. So you have your 2x minus 3. And then the other, what remains, goes in the other. So we have 2x plus 3. So now this is the factor of the original expression. All right, so this is the factor of the original expression. Thanks so much for the likes and follows, guys. I appreciate it. All right, so that was grouping. So let me show you what a lot of teachers are teaching when you have trinomials. But you're probably saying, well, Audrey, this is a polynomial because you got 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. True. But here's the thing. Look right here in the center. And I think some people saw this yesterday or the day before yesterday. Sorry. Okay, so right here in the center. Don't we have like terms? Right? Isn't those like terms? So one is a -6, one is a +6. Couldn't those cancel out? Right? All right. So since they can cancel out, let me kind of shift it over a little bit. So let me rewrite so we can kind of get our bearings into this. So the original expression was 4x squared minus 6x plus 6x minus 9. So right here in the center, we got like terms. We could combine those two. So -6 or -6 plus 6 will give me my 0. So what's left is my 4x squared and my -9. Let me pause for a second. Okay, good. I'm so glad that you're learning. So glad about that. All right. Now, looking at that 4x squared minus 9, the 4 looks like a perfect square. So does the 9. Okay, what two numbers will give me that 4? What times itself? Dots. Yes. I like the dots. It's so much easier for graphing. Trust me. So much easier for graphing. Good. 2's. I love it. So basically, when I'm factoring, I know I'm going to split things up into 2 parentheses. So I know 2 times 2 will give me my 4. So how about the x squareds? For the x squares, I know that x times x will give me my x squared. Right? The 2 x's. Good. Now, how about this -9? That looks like a perfect square as well. What two numbers will give me a -9? Okay, Brett, you got one of them. One of them is 3, which is a +3. Good, Morgan. Good, your cute jeans, 77. Okay, so one is going to be a positive 3. The other one's going to be a negative 3. Because a positive times a negative will give me my negative. So we actually had, once these once these combined as like terms, it brought down some numbers down, but it brought down perfect squares. So if I take the square root of 4, it will give me my 2. If I took the square root of x squared, I would get an x and an x. And if I took the square root of 9, it will give me 3, but I need a negative 9. So one's going to be positive and the other one's going to be negative. What do you notice? What do you notice right here? Let me unzoom so you can see. Okay. Wouldn't they just canceled out? Yep, and that's what we did. Can we see them side by side? How you saw? Yep, I think you can see it now. Okay, we had those like terms. Thanks, positive and negative opposites, right? But at the same time, they're the same answers. Yeah, they're switched around, but remember with multiplication, it doesn't matter the order, okay? Addition or subtraction, oh, definitely, okay? Multiplication, division, but multiplication really doesn't matter which comes first. You get the same answer. This one we did by grouping. This one by simplifying and basically we went from a polynomial to a binomial. We went to 2 terms. But what we're going to do is we're going to focus a little bit more on those trinomials, okay? What happens when the middle term doesn't cancel out and we still are expected to factor? So that's what we're going to be working on tonight. All right? So I can always simplify with like terms. Exactly. Definitely. All right. Lolly, what's wrong? Stressing? No stress. We're just going to walk through it step by step, okay? We're going through it step by step. And if you don't know me by now, I definitely go through things step by step. All right. So here's our first example. I'm going to put it down here. And our first example is x squared plus 5x minus 6. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can zoom in just a hair. Okay, that was more than a hair. That was like straight ponytail right there. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Oh, okay. No stress, girl. You got this. Exactly. Okay, we're here. Taz! Okay, thank you. I bombed this part on my exam. Well, here we go. I'm going to try to break it on down. So like I said, there's 2 ways of doing this. And guess what? You get to pick which way you feel most comfortable with. All right? So I'm going to show the first way of what they're teaching currently in the classrooms. It drives me a little crazy, but hey, I'm not in the classroom anymore. So this is what's happening. Anytime my leading coefficient, the leading coefficient is the one with the highest degree, it's the number that's in front. If you don't see anything in front of that x squared, it's assumed to be a 1. So when I see that it's a 1, right away, I'm going straight to my 2 empty parentheses. Because what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take this x squared, and I'm going to do what I call split it. So I'm going to have 1x in one parenthesis and 1x in the other. Because if I ever do the distributive property, x times x will give me my original x squared. Okay? So that's why I split my x's. So now, this is the part where multiplication and knowing your multiplication is key. So now we are drawing what's called a cross. Some people are going to be like, what? Oh, just stick with me. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to find factors that we can put inside of our parenthesis that if and when I do the distributive property, it will take me right back to my original. So this is what's happening. This is what's called standard form. So we have a pattern. Standard form originally is ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so this is the original standard form. The a, the b, and the c are generally the numbers that are either in front of your variables or the constant. Okay, we're all right? Old school math, new school math. I know, right? Okay, plus 6 minus 1. Oh boy, it's okay. Breathe. Breathe. All right. So, this is what's happening. I'm going to list out, just for right now, I'm going to list out what my A is, what my B is representing, and what is my C representing for this particular problem. So my A is the number in front of the x squared. If I don't see anything, it's assumed to be a 1. My B is the number that's in front of the x. My B is a positive 5. And my C is my constant, which is a negative 6. That's my C. And I think someone kind of put it up there. Yes, I think it was Monica said something. Yeah, this is a little bit like Algebra 1. This is like second semester Algebra 1, first semester Algebra 2. Someone else mentioned it. I think Eden mentioned something with 6 and 1. All right. Okay. All right. So now, okay. So Roman, if this is too easy, that's fine. There's so many other people that are doing math and they could do some advanced stuff. So no worries. Okay. Yeah, for me, I like to take my time. So, so what we're doing next, okay, this is where it's going to come. We're going to multiply my A and my C, and we're going to put that answer in this spot. Then we're going to rewrite my B, and we're going to put it in this spot. All right, so my A is 1. My C is negative 6. So if I'm saying AC, that means I'm saying A times C. So what is, not to insult you, what is 1 times negative 6? Put that in the chat. How did you know to put in those spots? Okay, so we have negative 6. It's been a while since we graduated from high school. It's all right. It's okay. Someone asked a question. Beepapalula. Okay, beepapalula. So how do you know to put in those spots? Okay. So how do I know to put what in what spots? If you can clarify, I would greatly appreciate it. And someone, who was that? That said sum and product puzzle. Yes, user, with all those numbers. Okay, sum and product puzzle. That's basically what we're doing. Okay, keep doing it. Okay, I'm wrong. No worries. All right. Okay, is it usually put in those spots? Yes. My AC is always on top and my B is always on the bottom. And my B in this case is going to be 5. Okay, so it's always going to be in this pattern. It's never going to be switched it up. Okay, yes, it is a factoring method. How do you know to put the AC? Oh, the AC and the B? Yeah, it's always going to be that way. AC always comes up here, and your B always comes here. Now, this is the part that is the toughest with this. I need to think what two numbers multiply will give me -6, and those same two numbers add together to give me a +5. Okay. It's all right. Beep up a little, breathe. Breathe. Yeah, definitely not 64. So what two numbers multiplied together will give me a -6? And those same two numbers add together to give me 5. Okay, I'm seeing a couple 2 and 3, 3 and 2, 1 and 6. 6, -1 and 6, 6 and -1. Okay. 3 and 2, 3 and -2. All right, got a nice little combination. I'm still seeing. Okay, so let's write it out. So we have, I'm seeing 2 and 3. Okay, I saw -1 and 6. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was like a -2 and 3. All right. So, of these, this +2 times +3, if I multiply, that's going to give me a +6. I'm looking for a -6. So you're probably saying, okay, well, let me make the 2 negative. So this multiplied does give me a -6. Okay, so we're working that. But if I do -2 plus 3, same numbers, but instead of multiplying, I'm adding, what does that give me? Okay. Hey, Mahogany. Okay, yeah, that will give me a 1. Okay, that will give me a 1. But we don't want a 1. We want a 5. Okay, even if I made the 3 negative and the 2 positive, that's just going to give me a -1. We don't want any 1s. We want 5s. So if I look at -1 times 6, that does give me a -6. But if I do, I'm going to put it over here, -1 plus 6, does that give me 5? -1 plus 6? Yes or no? Okay, so AJ squared. Hey, Lisa. Yes, good, good. Hello, Jack. Hey, Jessica. Good. All right. That's it. So that's what we're looking for. So the combination that we're looking for is a -1 and a 6. Those are the factors that we're going to use to help figure out what should go in here. All right. I'll tell my kids to list the factors, then play with the signs to find the sum portion. Yes. So this is trial and error. You're correct. Okay. My brain is hurting. Of course your brain is hurting. Because this is the hardest part. I'm going to tell you, when you're factoring trinomials, like really trying to understand your multiplication tables as well as figuring out your signs at the same time to see what will give you that B value, that is a brain buster. Especially like if you're dealing with larger numbers. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, it really does make you some time. All right. Yeah. All right. Is that okay, Christy? Next time, please put the word please. I would greatly appreciate it. Will the AC method always be multiplication on top and addition on the bottom? Yes, Jasmine. Yes. Yes, Jazz. Yes, yes, yes. Can I see full page? Sure. I think this is it. Whoop. Sorry. Something just shifted. Okay, here we go. Let me see if I can lower it a little bit. Is that working? You're welcome. Is there a cheat sheet? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. There is a cheat sheet. I'm going to show that in a moment. Okay, this is crazy how I just started learning this earlier today in class. I know. Okay, I love your emoji check on the top. Yes. See, I do this to check with the students. How are you feeling before the lesson? How are you feeling during? Like I usually take a pause. And then afterwards. A lot of the students don't like to do thumbs up, thumbs down because it calls them out. It's easier just to have them just circle, right? All right. Okay. Oh, Jalen, okay. Can you say hi back? You're a great tutor. Oh, well, thank you. Did you collect the sheets or just monitor during the lesson? No, this is inside the book. I do monitor during the lesson. All right. Okay. Factoring season. Yes, it is. Because when you get closer to the end, we spend a lot of time on factoring. All right, so ready. Now, this is what a lot of people tend to do in the classroom, okay? They like to take it a little bit longer. So now that we found the factors, these factors will actually replace your B value inside the parenthesis. I'm just showing you what they're doing in the classroom, okay? So do not shoot the messenger. You'll be like, hey, Audrey, you could just, I get it, okay? So this is what they're doing. They're basically rewriting, so we have our x squared, but in place of the 5x, they're putting a minus 1x. And since that's a positive 6, plus 6x. And then they're bringing down the minus 6. Just ride with me, people. Just ride with me, okay? All right, can I zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit clearer? Whoop. Okay. All right, so I think that's right there, okay? So the reason why they do this factoring is to figure out what to replace our 5x to. So now they have 4 terms. Anytime you see 4 terms and they're asking you to factor, right away you should be thinking grouping, okay? This is what they're doing. So they're grouping the first 2, then they're grouping the last 2. Now they're going to find the GCF for each of the parentheses. So I'm going to cover up the second one so we can focus? That's a new word. So we can focus on the first one. All right. So now my GCF of that first parenthesis is an X. There's 2 X's there. There's 1 X there. We pull 1 X out. What's in front of that X squared is a 1. So there's 1, 1, there's a 1. So now what's left is we have 2 X's. We pull 1 X out. We have 1 X left. Bring down the minus. You have 1 X. We pulled out an X. That means we only have 1 left. Okay. Example of the cubic. I will try to do that, but you're going to have to stay with me to like the end. Okay. All right. Good, Michael. I'm glad. All right. You helped me pass my Algebra 2 summative. Oh, I'm so happy for you, Tanya. It's so nice. That's awesome. Okay? So now I'm going to move this, and I'm going to focus on the second parenthesis. So since the leading coefficient is positive, I bring down the plus sign. So 6x and minus 6, the only thing they have in common is 6. So when I pull out the 6, I'm going to divide. 6x divided by 6 gives me 1x, or I could just simply write x. And negative 6 divided by 6 gives me a negative 1. Okay, how are we doing so far? All right, good. Good, Lisa, yes, it's going to be positive 6. So now, looking inside your parenthesis, my GCF, just like how we did before, for this line is what's inside the parenthesis, which is my x minus 1. And then what's outside the parenthesis is my x plus 6. So the factored form of that original is you have your x minus 1 and your plus 6. I will show one more like this way, and then that's it. Then I'm going to show you something, and it's going to blow your mind, because probably a lot of you guys will probably say, I don't think I froze. Did I freeze? Did it freeze? I don't think so. No, I'm here. Can we cancel out? You just factored out the common binomial. Yes. All right. Okay, no. I was like, no, we're not frozen. Okay, why do we not cancel out the x minus 1? Because we're factoring. We're not combining. We're factoring. We're basically pulling it out. Okay, so since this is my GCF of this line, I'm going to pull it out and put it in one parenthesis, because both terms had that expression in common. And then what was left was what was outside the parenthesis, and we combined those into one parenthesis. Okay, what you're doing is amazing. Oh, thank you. All right, can't wait. Okay, double bubble method. I don't know. It's so funny because there's a lot of people that name it differently. It might be the same thing. All right. Okay. You probably seen a process that can eliminate a lot of this. Trust me. But I'm going to do one more with the grouping, and then I'm going to show you the way that I do it. And it's so funny because it is my first and last initial. And I did not invent it. I swear, I cannot give credit. I like to give credit when credit's due. I can't take credit for this one. All right, so let me do a little bit of separation just so we can kind of be able to focus on a little bit and raise it up a lot. And I'm going to shrink just a hair and try not to touch stuff. All right, so we have, okay, let's try this one. So we have x squared minus 5x minus 24. I think everybody can see it. There we go. Okay. It's a great way to teach this. Oh, thank you. Just trying to break things down. That's what I learned today. It was a lot. Yes, Jada. It is a lot. And I like to show both. Now, here's a little disclaimer, I guess, is that there's a lot of teachers that are like, I want you to do it my way. I don't know. They didn't invent math, but I get it. I have to respect it. But at the same time, we all have to understand that there's multiple ways of getting the same answer. So I was one of those teachers when a student said, you know what, I think I found an easier way. And I always say, come up to the board, come up to, the document camera, whatever, and show us how you figured it out. And if it works every time, definitely. I'll be like, okay, guys, you got a choice. You can either do it, Dante's way, or you can do it how I did it. As long as you're showing your work and you're able to explain how you did step by step, hey, let's go. Let's make it happen. Yes. Hey, hello. Yeah, you're back. All right. So, look at you, Lisa. Oh, look at this. All right. So we have our A value, our B value, and our C value. Remember, the A is always what's in front of the x squared. If you don't see anything, it's a 1. Your B is always the coefficient with the sign in front of the x, so that's a -5. And your C is your constant with the signage, so that'll be a -24. All right, so now we're going with the x. Bring up my cross. And the AC is always on top, and your B is always down below. So AC means that you're going to multiply your A and your C. What do I get? What should go into this block? Oh, thank you. I try. Okay, I got -24, -24, -24, -24, -24. So good. -24. And then I'm rewriting my B, which is what? Not 25, 24. All you're doing is multiplying. Lake Coal Hill, LA Coal Hill. Coal Hill or Coal Chill? Coal Hill. You're multiplying the 1 and the -24. Okay? So you're rewriting my B, which is -5. Good. Nicely done, everyone. All right? So now, the tough part. What two numbers multiply will give me a -24 and add to give me a -5. Okay, cool. I got that part. Nice. So a lot of people are saying -8 and 3. So -8 times 3 gives me my -24. -8 plus 3 gives me my -5. So that works. So I'm going to put one of them here. So I'm just going to put the first number here, the -8, and then put the 3 there. Okay. Yes. Trial and error is a struggle, which I'm going to show you what I kind of have as a shortcut. All right. So products equals sum. Yes. Yes. Okay. Trial and error. Okay. Saw that one. Okay. Now, they're using these two numbers to replace our B value. Okay, they're using these two numbers to replace the B value. So this is the part that makes Audrey a little cry. So what happens is they rewrite, so they do x squared. And instead of the -5, they put the -8x and the +3x. Those are the two numbers that we got from the cross. And they bring down the constant, which is a -24. All right. Good. So now, let me raise up. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So we're grouping the first 2 terms, grouping the last 2 terms. So we need to find the GCF of each of the parentheses. So I'm going to cover the second one so we can focus on the first. What's my GCF of that first parenthesis? So not the x squared, but just the x, 1x. Good. Good. So you can write 1x or you can just simply write x. All right. Good. Excellent, guys. Yep, you got your 1. What's the c? Oh, the x is next to your c. Okay, I got you. I was like, Jazz, what's going on? All right, so now if I have 2 x's and I take 1 x out, that means I got 1 x left. If I have a minus 8x, all I did was take out an x, that means I have a minus 8 left. All right, good, Jada. There you go. All right, excellent. Excellent, everyone. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to cover up that first part. Now I'm going to try to find the GCF of the second part. So since it leads with a plus, that means I'm pulling out a positive. So 3 and negative 24, you guys are reading my minds. Look at y'all. Just jumping right to it. I love it. All right. So yes, my GCF is going to be 3. So if I divide, 3x divided by 3 gives me 1x, or just x. And negative divided by a positive is a negative. And 24 divided by 3 gives me 8. Yes. All right. So I love the idea of using the index card to cover up the... Yes, definitely. Because I work with a lot of students, some going from special ed, even those kids that have GT honors. And by covering up and having you focus on one thing, leaves out that intimidation. You know, we want to eliminate as much intimidation as possible. Now, what do you notice? Same. Okay, less overwhelming. Special ed. Yes. Okay, good. So you get it. Because having 7 kids in the classroom, especially when they're special ed, it's almost like having 32 kids in one class. All right. So now, inside your parentheses are exactly the same. So that's the GCF of this line. So I'm going to give them their own parenthesis. And then what's outside of the parenthesis, they get their own parenthesis. So what we just found was the factors of my original trinomial. Okay. Yes. See, grouping is fine. To a point. Grouping is fine to a point. Now, ready? All right, this math is mathing. Good. Wow, I'm learning about this right now in school. I know, I feel like everybody is. You're like an 8th person. Okay, so now, how should I do this? Should I do one more and then, yeah, that's what I'll do. I know. I really want you guys to experience this. Okay, can you please zoom out for a sec? Sure. Not a problem. Is that getting the whole page for you guys? All right, I'm gonna just math to math. All right, nice. I'm following your page, thank you. Not a problem. Until you graduate. Okay, when's that? All right, so this is basically like second semester Algebra 1, first semester Algebra 2. Okay. Yep, we are going to do another example. Thank you for the please. Yeah, I'm very old school with the please and the thank yous and excuse me's. And I'm not apologetic for that. So how often do you do these live tutorials? I just started about 2 weeks, but being really serious like last week. So now on Monday through Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then Monday through Thursdays at 8:30. Because I have a client at 8:30 on Fridays, so I will not be able to. I'm going to try, don't promise me, but I'm going to try to come on a lot earlier, maybe on Friday, to do something that I had planning for today. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Sorry about that. Haven't been in school since 91. Yup. High school, I graduated in 90. So here we are. Is this college math professor? It depends. If you're doing like the intermediate algebras, it will be a college form. A lot of people use this generally to prepare for the ACCUPLACER as well. So that's on there as well. ACCUPLACER, GED, and if you're going to the military, the ASVAB. Some of this is on there. Best way, what's the best way to support me? Good question. I mean, I'm going to keep going, and usually I'll show you what everything is, and if you need to buy something, hey, that'll be wonderful. But hey, as long as you're enjoying yourself and you're getting this, I'm happy. I'm going to use it to prepare for the T's. Okay, yes. Yeah, keep forgetting they do that too. Well, we'll definitely be here Thursday. Okay, I'm going to use, linear inequalities and functions. Ooh, actually inequalities are coming up. I'm not sure if it's next week or the week after. Probably the week after, because there's still some more factoring that I have to do. All right. She has this book and she's working out of Amazon and is very helpful. Thank you, Tess. Look at you. Look at my people. I love it. Rescheduling last night's. I'm thinking about tomorrow, but I have to look at my schedule because this schedule keeps changing every 2.2 seconds. But I'm going to try to make a post, if not early tomorrow morning, to let you guys know so you don't have to keep guessing. All right, so I'm going to take it somewhat advanced. All right. So the next example, I know I said I was just going to do 2 examples with this, but I really want you to get the full effect. All right. So I have 6x squared plus 5x minus 4. Okay. So let's see. Okay, you guys can be able to see that. Okay. Oh, hold on. There's a lot going on. Oh, yes. What's the name? What's the name of the book? Oh, the Ultimate Maths Notebook. If anything, you can go to my website, which is on my profile. If you click on that and look for the section that says the math notebooks, and you can click on and it goes straight to the Amazon, so you don't have to go running all over the place looking for it. I just wanted to give you your flowers. Oh, thank you for teaching us. Not a problem. Thank you so much. I have my issues with factoring and completing the square. Okay, I can see that. Is this your only platform? I do. The ones that I go live on, yes. because I feel like I get more feedback and more interaction here on TikTok. But I do have a YouTube channel where I take snippets of my lives and I post them on there. And that one is ACG Math Tutoring. Oops, if I could spell tutoring. So if you want to, you go ahead and subscribe. That'll be awesome. I'm a math major and I don't know just how to do it. Yes, okay. I know, and that's what happens. After a while, that's the difference between being just a math major and being a math teacher. There's a lot of people that know how to do the math and they could just go up on the board and go blah, 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 blah. But then the people behind them that are trying to follow along, they get lost in the sauce and then they're just done. So, okay, here we go. What's different this time is we actually have a number for our A. So my A is 6. My B is a positive 5. And my C is a negative 4. All right. Doing our cross. We always do the A and the C in the top section. And then we rewrite our B in the bottom section. So AC means we're going to multiply my A and my C. What do I get when I multiply my A and my C? What should go in this spot? Oh, hey, Ray. How are you? Oh, I'm missing a whole lot of messages. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. Oh, thank you for the flowers, guys. I appreciate it. And sharing the live. I love that. Okay, just search her name, Audrey Codner, and she has one book for middle and one for high school. Love it. The first term, more than 1x. Okay, you're welcome. AC, this is better for me to watch than brain rot. Hey, welcome in, Cammie. What state are you based out of? I'm in Maryland. Awesome, thank you. A is bigger than 1, yes. Pac-Man sound, yes. Hey, Lucas. Been out of high school for years and going back to college and taking algebra is hard. It is. And especially when you go back to school, you have to find your rhythm, okay? And trust yourself. Yes, okay. So we have 6 times negative 4. That gives me a negative 24. All right? So we have a negative 24. Don't forget the signs. When you're multiplying and the signs are different, your answer will always be negative. Then we rewrite our B, which is 5. So now, let's think. What two numbers multiply will give me negative 24 and add to give me 5, positive 5. Oh, well, thank you. Completely off topic. No, trust me. I'm surprised because this is the end of the day. Usually my handwriting is like blah, 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 blah. I don't even know how to explain it. I need this math. It's my energy. And that's fine. Here's my thing, Latoya. Let's think of it like this. It's not your enemy. It's just something that's in the way that you have to fight through. An enemy is that's going to be completely against you. It's not against you. Okay? We're surrounded by math. We just have to understand in order for us to process. So we just have to give ourselves time and grace for us to process it. Okay? All right? Okay? So this is where you're stuck. And that's fine. Okay? So now, let's write out what are some ways to multiply to give me negative 24. Even just the 24. All right, we don't have to worry about the 1 and 24. Okay, sometimes that is an option. So we got 1 and 24. We have 2 and 12. We have 3 and 8. We have 4 and 6. Nothing with the 5s because it's not ending in 5 or 0. We already have the 6, so basically these can be flipped around. But we know one of them has to be negative, okay? So I'm just going to make my lower numbers negative. I'm just putting it out there, okay? Yes, I do tutor. Yep, that's what I do now. I left the classroom almost 5 years ago. To be exact. Oh, wait. Oh, it is. It's February 20th. Yep, 5 years today. Happy anniversary. Yep. Just before that whole pandemic, everything just kind of shut down right around this time. And it was on a Thursday, too. Huh. Because I remember we had to come back into the building on Friday to scrub our classrooms. People were so stupid back then. Yeah, if anything, just click on my link for my website, and then we'll have like a time that we can just meet. Okay. I start school Monday. Okay. And we can probably also do like a study group as well, guys. That's usually a heck of a lot cheaper for everyone else. And it's perfectly fine for me. All right. Coming back. So these are what's multiplying to give me my negative 24. But if I add them, which of these 4 will give me a positive 5? And I think a whole ton of you guys said it earlier. I just wanted to reemphasize it. Okay. So come back and they closed the borders. Oh, did they? Okay, negative 3 and 8. And I think it was Jessica said that perfectly imperfect. Yep, negative 3 and 8. Hey, Ebony. Negative 3 and 8. Yep. So if I have my negative 3 and my positive 8, negative 3 times 8 gives me negative 24. Okay, negative 3 plus 8 gives me 5. So now we're going to replace this middle term of 5 with these two factors. So that means we have 6x squared. Then we replace it with negative 3x plus 8x. And then we bring back the last, which is my minus 4. So from here, we can go ahead, group our first two, group our last two. All right, so let me zoom in a little bit. So now that we're grouping, I'm going to cover up the last parenthesis so we can find the GCF of that first term. So 6x squared minus 3x. What's my GCF for that parenthesis? Okay, Lisa is on it. User, yes. We need to get you a name, user, because I feel bad like call it user, but you have your reasons. Yes, Janae, yes, good. So it is my 3x parenthesis. Now, what's going inside? Not negative 4 was negative 24. Okay, thank you, Xing. So what should go inside the parenthesis? So we have a 2x minus 1. We have x minus 2, x minus 1, 2x minus 1. Okay, remember we are dividing the original by the GCF. So x minus 1, x minus 1's just 2x. There's something else with the 2x, Cammie. Wish I had the answer. It's okay. All right, 2x minus 1, 2x. Okay, so let me go through it. So 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. We started off with 2 x's. We pulled out 1x. So that means there's 1x remaining. Bring down the minus sign. So we have 3x divided by 3x. So a number divided, or a phrase, expression divided by itself will always give you 1. Okay, negative 3 divided by 3 will give me my negative 1. There's 1x. We pulled out an x, so we don't have any x's left. Are we feeling better now? Why is there 0? Oh, okay, the 0. Well, if we're dividing, not subtracting. If we're dividing, it will give me a 1 instead of a 0, okay? Okay, so we're dividing. Where did the 3x on the outside come from? So it was my greatest common. So 6 and 3, what's the greatest common factor that they have? Which will be your 3. Okay? And then we have 2 x's here and we have 1x there. So they have 1x in common. That's where the 3x came from. Okay. Why did the negative and positive 3x cancel each other? It didn't cancel each other. It just divided. So like 3 divided by 3 will give me 1. But since this is a negative 3 divided by a positive 3, when the signs are opposite, your answer is always going to be negative. Okay, I'll get you information about that. How did I get to the form on your website? There's a one whole page that says TikTok study group. Just click anywhere on there and it will take you straight to the form. Because I made that whole page active. Okay, good. Why did I want to multiply? I don't know. I was like, I don't know. There's only so much I know. How do I... Whoa, what's this? Okay, I already did the form thing. I want to make sure I'm not losing anyone. Okay, well, got that. I'm confused how you know where to put the 8x and negative 3. It doesn't matter where you put it. So like if you wanted to make this the positive 8x and put this the negative 3, you can do that. Yeah, it doesn't matter which one you put. I just went, since negative 3 is here, I just put it here. Since 8 was there, I just put it there. Yeah, so it's interchangeable. Because you're going to get the same answer anyway. Let me see. Okay, can you use distributive property to check if you're ever unsure if you factored out the GCF correctly? Yes, you can. You can always check your work by doing distributive property. Because that's what factoring is. Factoring is basically the opposite of the distributive property. Was C... AC was a negative 24. Yes. My math's not mapping unless it's adding and subtracting. Is the book a meet and greet? No. I think you're looking at contact me. There should be another page that just says TikTok study group. Should be on there. Finally understand how you got the cross and I got the 1. Okay. So you're finally understanding how I got the cross and got the 1. Okay. Good. Is this the quadratic formula in a different way? No. No, quadratic formula, you're definitely looking at square roots and all that fun stuff. Okay, is dividing a standard rule? Yes. Yes, especially when you're trying to get what's going on in here. So my GCF for here is going to be a +4. And then you're going to divide the original, this side, the original by my GCF. So 8x divided by 4 gives me 2x. And -4 divided by a +4 gives me a -1. Can you show the work and how you got the answer, please? And thank you. Sure. Well, we're not done yet, but I will at the end. Is that okay? All right. Okay, so Yusuf says we have our GCF. GCF, we have 2x minus 1. That's the GCF of this line. And then what remains is our 3x plus 4. So this is going to be the factor of your final answer. So let me unzoom so you guys can get that. Okay. Thank you. Not a problem. All right. So now, that is factoring trinomials by putting that grouping spin on there. All right. I'm going to repeat the 3 questions that we have so we can do a little comparison. All right. So why do the 3x goes into the second term? Well, the 3x can go into the first term if you want, because that's on the outside and that's on the outside. So if you want to make it 3x plus 4, and then what they have in common with the 2x minus 1, that works too. That works as well. Okay. Going to bed. I just followed your page. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's just my brain has lost its mojo in my 30s. That's okay, Julia. That is perfectly fine. No, it's still there. It's still there. You know, we just kind of overwork it for so many things. So let me see. Okay, I used this one, and I used this one, and this one. All right, so I'm going to go back. Okay, back. And you're going to see, and this is called the AC method. If you want to just sit and watch before you copy down, let's do that. Because I don't want you to like look down, look up, and there'll be something completely different. Okay? Let me see if I can get with the comments. Oh, I really need to go back. Hold on. Okay, we got going to bed. We got that. Okay. Can you FOIL to show how it will revert to the original expression? Sure. All right. I'll use the last one. Is that okay? So if let me see if I can put it, I'll put it in red so you know the difference. So if the original is 3x plus 4 and 2x, I'll use 2x minus 1, right? So this was our answer. So if I'm foiling, I'm always going to distribute that first term to everything in the second term. Don't worry about first out, inner, last. It doesn't matter. So here's my thing. You got the first term and you're distributing to everything in the second parenthesis. So 3x times 2x gives me 6x squared. Then 3x times negative 1 gives me negative 3x. Okay. Now, we're going to take this 4, this positive 4, and I'm going to distribute it to everything inside the second parenthesis. So 4 times 2x, that gives me a positive 8x. And 4 times negative 1 gives me a negative 4. So as you can tell, right here, smack in the middle, we got like terms. So if I combine those, negative 3 plus 8, that gives me 5x. And then I bring down my constant, that's negative 4. And I bring down my 6x squared. And what sign I should put in there is based off of what I got from the negative 3 plus 8, which gives me a positive 5. So I do plus 5. And this, oops. Sorry, I'm trying to shrink. So this should take us back to this. I think I can get both of us on there. Sort of, kind of. Okay. All right. Oh, my brain was telling me to keep working till everything cancels out. Okay. So why didn't the positive 4 and the negative 4 didn't cancel? Because you're not adding. You're dividing. Okay. When you're adding, yes, a negative plus a positive, boom, cancels out. Okay. Especially if they're the same number. But when you're dividing, 4 divided by 4 gives you 1. So it doesn't cancel out. When I get frustrated, I channel my inner You're hilarious. Okay, not in the same way I used to be, but thank you. I look forward to your videos in the future. Not a problem. Okay, wait, this is just undoing the process for FOIL. Yep. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, to show why this is the answer basically proves that it is correct. Yes, right. That's how you check to make sure you're right. There you go. OMG goodness. Yes. All right. Okay, here we go. Ready, get set, go. All right, so now I'm going to show you the AC method. So the first example that we had was x squared plus 5x minus 6. All right. Now, we did our factor. Remember that x that we did? If we multiply the a and the c, and we rewrite the b. So the a was 1, the c was negative 6. So AC was negative 6, and our b was 5. Okay, this is the toughest part. I'm going to be truthful, right? So we had to figure out what two numbers multiplied together will give me a negative 6 and add together to give me a 5. So we figured one was a 6 and the other one was a negative 1. So 6 times negative 1 gave us negative 6, and 6 plus negative 1 gave us 5. All right, ready? Now that you did that, and your leading coefficient is 1, this is what you can do. Split your x's. So there's going to be 1x in one parenthesis, 1x in the other. Now, the factors that you just found, put them in the parenthesis. And you're done. Are you all right? There's no hearts. I'm not seeing any messages. People are like, wait, what? What? I like that. I know. Processing, putting under. No. What's the X? And how did this matrix work? Because here's the thing. Your leading coefficient is 1. If your leading coefficient is 1, we all know that 1 times 1 is going to give you 1. So right away, I can just split my x's. Okay? Now, the hardest part, like I said, you still multiply the a and the c, you still get the -6. And you still got to figure out what two numbers multiply will give me -6 and add it to give me 5. That's the toughest part. Okay, that's really getting to know that multiplication. Okay, that's when it's tough. Once you figure it out, it was 6 and -1. You put 6 in one parenthesis and then -1 in the other. Let's take a look what we did when we do it by grouping. Okay, this is the start. I think I can put everything in there. This was the start of the problem, and we found the factors. But then you undid to put back together. So it's almost like you got up in the morning, you put your clothes on, you took your clothes back off, and then you put your clothes back on again. The same clothes. Not like, oh, okay, change different outfits. Like the same as that, everything down to the drawers. Like everything. You know, you got out of bed, whatever, took a shower, whatever, put your clothes on, ready to go, and then you just like, you know what, let me take these clothes off. And you took the clothes off just to put the clothes back on again. You gave yourselves an extra steps. I'm lazy as hell. I don't like to do too many extra steps, right? Okay, don't worry. I got another one for you. All right, so that was the first one that we did. Then we did, let me see if I can squeeze it in here. I'm going to do it like this, just so we can divide it up. Then the next one we did was x squared minus 5x minus 24. All right. So since my leading coefficient is 1, I can go right ahead and split my x's. So there's an x here and an x there. So now I need to draw my cross. And my AC was up here and my B was down here. Then we had to think, what two numbers multiply together to give me a -24 and add together to give me a -5. And what we did was we figured there was an 8 and there was a 3. But the 8 was the one that was negative. Okay, right, good Ray, good Lynn. All right, with that positive 3. Right. So since we found our factors, we just go to our parenthesis and say -8 and plus 3. That's your answer. If you can explain the sum and difference of cubes. I will try to squeeze it in there. Okay, easy. Thank you. Not a problem. Nice handwriting. Thank you. Can you show one with the perfect square? We actually did one earlier with the perfect square. Now, if we had, let's say, 16x squared minus 25. Okay? It has to be minus, okay? Perfect squares are never a plus. Never. Ever, 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 ever. Okay, it has to be a minus. So I set up my 2 parentheses. All I'm doing is taking the square root of all 3 of these numbers. What's the square root of 16? I'm understanding now. Good. Lots of practice. Trust me. I appreciate you saying that I'm good. Okay, so the square root of 16 is 4. So that means 4 goes here and 4 goes there. The square root of x squared. That means I'm splitting my x's. There's 1x there and there's 1x there. So now, what's the square root of 25? Five. Because 5 times 5 gives me 25. But we want a negative 25. So what do you think we have to put down for signage? Thank you, Mark. There we go. Life's too short. Yes. Oh, hi, life's too short. How are you? Okay. So 1's going to be positive. 1's going to be negative. If you switch it, say this is negative and that's positive, that means the same thing. Boom. Completely factored. All right. So let me do 1. See, this is when your A is equal to 1. This is a quick step, okay? When your A value is 1, all you have to do is split your x's, figure out what 2 numbers will multiply to give you your constant, add together to give you a middle term. Once you figured those out, put those bad boys down. But let's do the last one. The last one that we did. So that one was 6x squared plus 5x minus 4. Okay. Yes, I'm doing all right. I'm feeling so much better. All right, so 1's negative, 1's positive. Okay, so why are those extra steps needed to those first example? I don't know. Jane, I don't know. People just be doing too much. Like, that's just how I feel. Because sometimes they're like, well, you know, you're going to show all these lovely steps and all. Look, just, yeah. We ain't got time for this in life. We're just trying to get this going. It's just be doing too much. All right? Yes. Work smarter, not harder. That's a nice way of saying it. I'm lazy as hell. I ain't gonna lie to you. Because I'll just be like, all right. And once I figure out a pattern and I'm going to get that same answer, I'm going to work with that pattern. Because that's what math is. It's nothing but patterns. All right, it's nothing but patterns. Teachers be so mad saying, show your work. So annoying. I know, but still you can, if you want to show your work, you are. You're showing the process with the X. You're showing that process, okay? The easy one is when A is equal. Yes, it's easier when A is equal to 1. Do I tutor? Yes, I do. Just go to my profile. We'll be there. All right. So now here's the thing. When A is not 1, we have to do an extra step. And I know you're probably like, oh, I'm like, no, it's okay. So let's go through it step by step. We're going to list my A, my B, and my C. So my A is the 6. The B is a positive 5, and the C is a negative 4. Okay, just like how we did before. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. All right. Zoink. There we go. So now, We can't just split our x's because now my a is not a 1, it's a 6. But after we list our a, b, and c, we are still doing our cross. Okay, that hasn't changed. So we do our AC and we rewrite our b. Multiply the a and the c, we get our negative 24. Rewrite our b, which is a 5. And like we did, we figure out what two numbers multiplied together will give me a negative 24 and add together to give me 5. And we figured it was a negative 3 and a positive 8. Okay, so far this is exactly the same that we did. But this is where we got to pause for a moment. Okay? I love it. Okay, here we go. It's like, it's okay. So this is where it differs. Since my leading coefficient is not a 1, and I need two answers because I'm trying to find two parentheses. Just like up here, I'm trying to find two parentheses. So in order for me to find these parentheses, this is what I do. I'm going to set up two ratios, aka fractions. And you're like, what? Just hold on. If anything, just watch what I do. Don't write anything down just yet. Okay, just watch what I do. Put the pencils, just get it out of your hands. Okay? It's all right. It's okay. What goes on top is your A value. I'm going to write it out twice. Here's a 6. Here's a 6. I'm going to write the variables that we're using. We're using x as our variable. I'm going to write that out twice. Here's an x. Here's an x. Now, ready? The numbers that we found for the factors, these are going to be my denominator. So I have a negative 3 for one, and I have an 8 for the other. Okay, so I'll repeat it again. The numerator is going to be whatever my a is. I'm going to write it out twice. And the variable that we're using, I'm going to write that out twice. Then the numbers that we got for the factors, that's going to come as my denominators. So the negative 3 is here, and the 8 is here. All right. Just like fractions, we need to reduce. What number does 6 and 3 have in common? That you can put in the chat. What number does 6 and 3 have in common? Okay. So 6 and 3 have the 3 in common. Good. Okay. You will get a result of 2 in the numerator, but they have 3 in common. Good. So since they have 3 in common, you're basically like saying you're dividing by 3. That's when you're reducing. Reducing, you're just basically dividing by a similar number. So this negative 3 down here is now going to be a negative 1. Because negative 3 divided by 3 gives me a negative 1. This 6 up here divided by 3 is now going to be a 2. Okay, 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. All right, that's that fraction. Now, I don't know where my little piece of paper went, but it's somewhere around here. I'm just going to use my finger. Now, I'm looking at this ratio. What number does 6 and 8 have in common? I got 2 for Lisa. 2, good. Mark, good. Too short, good. So if I divide this 6 by 2, that's going to be a 3. And if I divide this 8 by 2, that's going to be a 4. All right? So basically, this is what it looks like. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. It's going to be a 2x that's in the numerator, a -1 in the denominator, a 3x in the numerator, and a 4 in the denominator. This is basically your answer. This is how you write it out as parentheses. You have 2x minus 1. Okay, start with the numerator always. 3x, and since that's a positive 4, plus 4. So when a is not equal to 1, you just have to do this extra step. Sometimes you don't have to reduce both fractions. Sometimes you just have to reduce one. Okay? Once you reduce them, then you can write each fraction will be its own parenthesis. All right. Beep bopaloo, that's all right. Because trust me, it took me a minute. Someone taught me this. I don't know if someone taught me it or I found it on YouTube. Like, I want to say 12 years ago? About that? Good God, was it that long ago? Yeah, probably like around 12 years ago. And it's stuck with me ever since. But I think the reason why a lot of teachers do the grouping, especially when the A is not 1, is because you can get to your numbers a lot simpler, and plus you don't have to deal with fractions. If you're okay with fractions and reducing fractions, you can do the AC method when you're A. It doesn't matter if it's 1 or -1 or not 1 at all. Okay, I need a lot more like this. Of course, yeah. Just got here, been struggling so bad. Please, for one more. I will. Okay, how I got here, at what level of math is this? I know, it's almost like it just brought you here. Well, this is like Algebra 1, beginning of Algebra 2. And maybe even some college algebra. It's like a refresher. Just learned something new today. Yay, Janae. That's pretty cool, right? And it just the fact that when your A is equal to 1, that you can get to your answer in literally 2 steps. Game changer. I like the AC factor. I need practice. Of course. Like, trust me, this is your first time probably seeing it. Maybe second. Like, why are we expecting to be like geniuses right off the bat? Like, it's cray-cray. All right? Take your time with it. Wish they taught this way when I was in school. Yeah. I'm in the same boat as you. Yes. All right. So, let me see if I can squeeze one more. Let me see if I can put it in this little spot right here. All right. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to do, so the original is 2x squared plus x minus 15. Okay. All right, list out my A, my B, and my C. I think you guys can see it. Hold on. What? Not sure if I was supposed to do it like that, but here we are. Okay. So, thank you for the follow. For the little big bus. Oh my goodness. Welcome to the big little bus. Oh, you're funny. Would it be possible to do another with the coefficients in front of the x squared, please? Yep. Right here. Boom. Okay. You're funny. All right. So yes, our A is 2, my B is 1, and my C is a negative 15. All right. So right from there, once it's listed, you go straight to your cross or your X. What goes on top is your A and your C. What goes underneath, you're rewriting your B. So multiply your A and your C and put it in this spot. What should go in that spot? Why is B 1 again? Oh, because in front of the X, if you don't see a number, it's assumed to be a 1. Okay, so I got 30, 30, negative 30. Okay, so I got one person. All right, now I got a couple people that got it. Yes. So 2 times negative 15, that's a negative 30. And then we're just rewriting the B, which the B in this case is 1. All right. Yes, there is a negative. Yep. So you're taking the number and its signage. All right. So now, here we go. What two numbers multiplied together will give me a negative 30 and add together to give me 1? All right, think about it. What two numbers multiplied will give me a negative 30 and add together to give me 1? Okay, make sure it's a positive 1. Positive 1. I think that's Lisa. Okay, Coconut. Joshi. Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer. Okay. So for the negative 3 times 10, that will give me negative 30, yes. But if I do negative 3 plus 10, will that give me 1? Okay. So, negative 30. So if I use 6 and 5, that'll give me 30. But if I make my 5 negative, that will give me a positive 1. So 6 plus negative 5 will give me 1. All right. Yeah. Yeah. All you have to do is just get rid of that question mark creature comfort. The names that you guys pick is hilarious. It's cute. All right. All of my answers will be right but wrong because I will forget to add the negative or positive. Yes. Yes. Trust me, that is the key. That's the key. That's one thing you definitely have to practice on. That's why I said this part is the hardest part, because not only you're thinking of what factors will give you the 30, but then you also have to think about what the signage would be. Okay. So now we have our factors. So now we're going in with our ratios. So we're using my A and the variable. So that means I'm doing 2x and 2x. Okay, so it's always going to be the A and whatever the variable that we're using. No, we cannot, because that's not what I do. I wish I had found this a week ago because my first pre-algebra test last week and I had it. Yep, so much trouble with it. Okay, no problem. Hopefully you're seeing it now, because guess what? It always spirals back. All the time, it always spirals back. All right, so what goes underneath is the two factors that we found. So one's going to have a 6, the other one has the negative 5. So now that first ratio it can be reduced by what? Not a problem. Good. GED math portion, yes. They do have a factor part on there, and that's usually a 3 or 4 point question. Like anything deal with linear equations or factoring, yeah, those are those high point questions. If you can get those mixed with the right basic math ones, you'll be able to pass a GED. Because remember, the whole test is not just one. Yes, so we can reduce it by 2. So if I divide this by 2, that means this is going to be a 1. Divide this 6 by 2, that means this is going to be a 3. But do I have to reduce the second ratio? Okay, got a couple people saying no, 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 no. Okay, so set designer, the only thing that 2 and 5 have in common is 1. Okay, you don't need the GCF, right? So the only thing they have is 1. So if they're only GCF, only thing that they have in common is 1, you could leave it alone. Okay, so you have your 2 parentheses. So this one is going to be a 1x over 3. And this one is 2x over negative 5. So we just found our 2 products. So the first parenthesis, always start with the numerator, then the denominator. So 1x or x plus 3. Then the other one is 2x minus 5. And these are your factors for your trinomial. It's like after a while, you're going to start seeing life in a different way. And you're going to be like, oh, wow. Didn't even know that part. All right, how are we doing? Going to work on the X part. Yes, trust me. This part is going to be worth it. So, as I said, there is a shortcut, especially if you have my handy dandy notebook. So if you like the notes that's being displayed here, I've created this math notebook. Okay, so for people to put their formulas here, to put their steps here, I really designed this for math students only. You know, just for them to organize their thoughts, be able to get a couple quick notes, like say earlier or a couple days ago, I was working on slope for my morning people. So I actually have the formula for slope and also the steps that they need to take. So taking a look at some of these concepts, sometimes students just want to find out what is right away. And especially when they need to do their homework, we have some kids that they work right after school. So with them, they do their work, they come home to do their homework, and all of a sudden they're like, how do I do this again? So now that they have a section that they can look to refer to and to kind of help them break these concepts down, this is a perfect little design and set. So as I was mentioning, there is a shortcut. It's not just a notebook. It has a factor chart in the back. So remember, we were trying to think of numbers for, let's say, 24, right? So if I go to the back, let me see if I can angle it. Yep, okay. So we got here like 24. So now we're looking at what are those numbers that are factors of 24. So now you can see it a lot quicker. 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, and 4 and 6. So we want to know which ones multiply would give me 24. Say it was like a negative 24. And then your B was supposed to be a 5. Let's say, okay, so which ones of these, if I subtract, will give me a 5? Oh, right here, 3 and 8. Write them down. Boom, you're right into the whole factoring. So it kind of gets you to that point so much quicker, okay? I have this not only for 1 to 100, because a lot of teachers or a lot of people usually have that. I have it to all the way up to 200. So because, we're doing advanced stuff, so we see a lot of higher numbers. In addition to this, I have the most used words. Oh, there's that paper. The most used words that we see in most word problems, and see what operation is attached to. So addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, equals, inequalities. See, there is a difference between is more than and more than. More than is addition. Is more than is an inequality. The same thing with is less than compared to less than. So getting to know that. The rules of integers, rules for integers of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. All that is down below. Hey, Giorgio. A little bit, but not really. We did a little review on it. We're probably going to do another review on it tomorrow. So it'll be okay. All right. But that was during my 1 o'clock show. So you had like your equations of the line. You have your orders operation. And then we go into more advanced stuff. So we have a little bit with the trig. Then I have a little bit of the reference with volume and surface area. I use this a lot lately with some of my geometry students. And for those that are going into Algebra 2, the unit circle. You're going to get to know that quite a bit. So, and like I like to do is I also like to have what's called a brain break. Sometimes we all just need a moment. So I put some puzzles in here just to kind of relax you a little bit. Maybe some mindless coloring. That's not a problem. Just to give yourself a break. Or maybe someone likes to draw using pixel art. They can draw in this section. Or they can just do a little sketch or some little doodles. So just kind of like helps to refocus the brain, because we all know if you do math for a long period of time, you'll be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs after a while, right? So it's kind of like that's what you need to do. So this is what I did yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. I know my days are all kinds of mixed up. And I was kind of going over graphing equation of a line. And I found this one piece of paper. So instead of me copying my graphs over and over again, I just basically did the traditional way of copy and pasting. So I just cut it and taped it in my book. And then we actually did the work inside of it, as well as take it to this side. You just copy and paste it. If your teacher says, hey, I really want you to have this piece of paper in your notes, you can literally tape a page. You can put it on the grid side, tape a page, put it in, and then on the other side, do a summarization of what's on that other piece of paper. So you don't have to be like, keep looking at the paper. Because the more that you write, the more that you're going to understand and study. So I kind of mentioned this earlier, and I'll mention it each and every time. This is not how you study math. Okay, here's my notes. Okay, yeah. Okay, I got that. Yeah, I got that. Blah. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's great. Blah, 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 blah. No. This is how you're supposed to study math. You got your notes. You got a sheet of paper. You copy down the problem on your sheet of paper. You take your notes. You put it to the side. And then you do the problem without cheating. Shaking the finger at you. Okay, without cheating. You're writing down how you would solve it. You get an answer. That's when you bring your notes back into the play. And then you're checking what you got compared to what your notes have. That's how you study math. Okay, you study by practicing. Now, for me to give you a random piece of paper with no answer key Sometimes that makes it harder. Okay, sometimes we use the answer key really to check to see, am I on the right page? And the answer key not only just gives you the answer, but actually walks you through it. So usually that's how I would study math, because that's the suggestion I always give. Like, put it on a separate sheet of paper and then practice and use your notes as an answer key. Okay, so can you share this template? It's not a template. It's in my book. I have this book on sale on Amazon. If you want, you can go to my website, which is on my profile. Just click on my face and then go to my profile and you'll see ACG Math Tutoring. And you can actually get a digital copy if you don't want to get the actual book. There's a digital form that you can bring down. Notice it's in color. I'm sorry. Yes. Did this cost me a lot to put together? Yes. Am I making mills out of this? No. But is this going to be useful for students all over the world? Yes. Definitely. Okay. That's why I wanted to use the colors. The yellow is representing my prime numbers. The blue is representing those perfect squares, those 16s, the 64s, the 25s, the 81s, okay? And then the reds are perfect prime combination numbers. If you're breaking down radicals, if you're not into radicals yet, you will be soon. If you need to break down radicals, this is going to help you break those radicals down so much quicker to find the right combination so you can just get straight to the answer. Yes, I had to do it. Okay. Oh, hello, Radiance. How are you? Let me see. There's a whole lot of stuff that was going on here. Here we go. What is the Y? Hold on. Thank you. Okay, brain, you gotta work on the X part. Remember that. It's people like you. I wish I could take all my math tests for me. Yeah, not in the calculus state of mind. That's just not me. What is the why behind this math? Here's my thing. It all depends on what you want to go, what kind of career you want to go into. Some careers is going to ask you to go all the way up to calculus. Some careers you probably won't even need this. But my answer that I usually give to my students is, I don't know where you want to go and what you want to do. So I'd rather teach you and break concepts down, and I'd rather you say, oh, I've seen this before, instead of saying, what the hell is that? Okay, like I'd rather have you have at least a one up over someone to expose you to this and be able to break it down that you can learn to think outside the box. That's my only answer that can come, because I don't know what your future is going to be. I don't know what you're trying to do as a job. I don't know what you want to progress to. I have no idea. But all I know is there is always some forms of math in everything we do. If you want to look at a map, there's forms of math. By us being on the internet, that's a form of math. For us waking up, that's a form of math. The way our lighting, the way our clothes are designed, that's a form of math. The way that we are having decisions, putting logic, that's all mathematics. So it's like, it's never ending. Never ending. I'm a type of person who needs the steps for the steps. You're amazing. Oh, thank you. The unit circle. Oh, I know. The struggle is real, but we'll get through it. What a great study book. Thank you. So something else. Where can I buy this? I'm sorry, I'm just joining. No problem. So I definitely have it on Amazon. Yes. Thank you, B. Bapalua. It's on Amazon. You can type my name, Audrey Codner, or if you want to go to my website, which is on my profile, you can click on the Ultimate Support Group, or not Ultimate Support Groups, wrong thing, the Ultimate Math Notebook. You click on that and it will take you directly to the page for that. That's fine. Do you teach this kind of math? Can you see my emoji? I have a friend learning from Lynette. I'm going to put it in the chat. She does, or learning, not from, learning with Lynette. She does abacus, mathematics. Amaze balls, like completely amazing. Like I'm starting to learn. Like there's times I'll go on her lives and I will be learning. Sometimes she pops in here once in a while. But yes, definitely follow her. If you have any little ones that wants to learn, or maybe yourself that want to learn how to use the abacus. And the abacus is not a new thing. The abacus is if you text the word math, if you're just doing a text message and you'll get this little emoji with like a little square and there's some beads on there. That was used back many centuries ago, not even decades, centuries ago, that people use it to calculate like large numbers. And she breaks it down. She has books as well. I mean, she basically gears it towards like 4 years old to 8-year-olds. And she like breaks it all down, how to count, how to add, how to subtract. Oh, it's amazing. So you should definitely take a look at her. Glad I stumbled across you. Accident. Yes, good night. Please keep me in touch. Much love always. Yes, wish I could be great as how reading is read. Yes, you explain thoroughly. Thank you. I try. Like to refresh linear. Yes. Someone did ask me. Okay. Who is this again? Oh, Learning with Lynette. She's my friend that teaches math through abacus. So definitely take a look at her stuff. And I think someone asked me, I'm not even sure if they're still here, about the difference of cubes. If you are, I can show it to you real quick, or we can just end the live for right now. Talk to me. Because I can do it on a separate sheet of paper. Yeah. Okay. I think we're all burnt out. Show us. Show us. Do it. Okay, let me whip out some extra paper because I got to wait for my book to come in. All right. Some indifference. Please. Not a problem. I guess everybody has a test on it. Let's see. All right. So this is, we're going to do the difference. Ooh. Difference of cubes. Okay. Thought there was something weird going on with my music. Okay, so difference of cubes. Oops. All right, so with the difference of cubes, here's the formula. Your first parenthesis is always going to be negative. Then you square your A, you add and multiply your A and your B, and you add your B squared. So if I had, let's say, 2x cubed minus minus what? 27. No, it's not 2. That's weird. Let's say 8. 8x cubed minus 27. That sounds about right. All right. So in order for us to figure out what should go in that first parenthesis, we need to figure out what's going to represent our A and what's going to represent our B. So in order for this to happen, I need to take the cube root of everything up here. So the cube root, I'm going to write it out like this. So the cube root of 8, the cube root of my x cubed, bring down the minus, and then the cube root of 27. Okay, so we got squares down packed. But when it comes to cubes, we all got to take a moment to stop and think, right? So now, the cube root, we need to think, what multiplied by itself 3 times will give me 8? Yep, I will show that, Erica, in a moment. So how do you know each number is cube rooted? Because right now, everything is dealing with cubes. Okay, anytime they're saying x cubed, and there's no other x's around here, we're dealing with the cubes. So the cube root of 8 is 2. What about the cube root of x cubed? What is that? Hey, Evelyn. What's the cube root of x cubed? What? Okay. Hey, misbehaving. Okay, so how you know that, did you know, let me put it this way, that the inverse of an x squared is a square root. So the inverse of a cube is a cube root. These two things cancel each other out. What's left is my x. Okay, cubes and cube roots are opposites. Squares and square roots, they're opposites. Fourth and fourth roots, they're opposites. Okay, yeah, that was a guess. Well, that was a good guess. All right. Bring down my minus sign. Now, what's the cube root of 27? So what multiplied by itself 3 times will give me 27? Okay, 3, 3, 3. Okay, so we need to take the cube root of everything. The cube root of 8, that's 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 gives me 8. The cube root of x cubes, cubes and cube roots are opposites of each other. So they cancel each other out and they leave me with the x. The cube root of 27 is 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. So what you just found, this is going to represent your A, and this, not the sign, just the number, is going to represent your B. Okay? So this is telling me that my first parenthesis should be 2x minus 3. So now, to figure out what goes into the second parenthesis, we're going to follow this pattern. We're going to take our A. Remember, our A is 2x. And we're going to square it. So that means I'm squaring the 2 and I'm squaring the x. So what is 2x squared? So I'm going to put them as like parentheses and I'm going to change colors so you can see it. So the first part is going to be 2x squared. Bring down the plus sign. Okay. The second part is going to be your A times your B. Your A is 2x times your B, which is 3. Not negative 3, just the 3. Bring down the plus sign. Now you're doing your b squared. Your b is 3. And that's being squared. Okay. Yeah, I know this is too much. That's why I was like, I usually don't do this combined, but someone asked for it and I told them to stay at the end and I would do it. Can you do another one, please? I'm not even done with this one, Ruby. It's literally just a formula and you plug in your A and your B. Oh, she explained it perfectly. Well, thank you, NC. Appreciate you. So now, let's clean this up. Okay? Well, considering we just learned a little bit about the trinomials, that was a lot. And then the AC method, that was a lot. So now, what goes on inside this parenthesis? 2 squared, that gives me 4. X squared will give me 4x squared. Bring down the plus sign. 2x times 3, that gives me 6x. Bring down the plus sign. 3 squared, that means 3 times 3, that gives me 9. So I bring down my first parenthesis, and this is my answer. Okay? So it's really getting to know the first thing. If they say do the difference of cubes, the first parenthesis is going to be minus. Okay, the first parenthesis is going to be minus, and the rest will be plus. If they say the sum, I could put it underneath it. If they say the sum of cubes, the sum of cubes, that means your first parenthesis is going to be A plus B. And then your second parenthesis is going to be A squared minus AB plus B squared. So here's the thing. If they say sum, that means the first parenthesis is going to be positive, and then the first and the second one is going to be negative. If they say difference, your first parenthesis is going to be a minus, and then everything in the second parenthesis is going to be plus. Okay? So it's really just following the pattern. In order to figure out what your A and your B is going to be, you had to do the cube root of everything that they give you. All right, so let me see what's going on in the comments. La 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 la. I did bad on my exam. Aw. It's like, what happened? What was the things that got you, Jacqueline? Is there an easier way to do the difference in sum of cubes? That is the easiest way. Do you do practice for SAT exams? I can. The first step was confusing, yes. And the reason why, we're so used, our brain is so programmed to deal with squares. Because for the longest time, that's all we did. Then all of a sudden, you're asking your brain to switch to cubes, and it's like, say what? What the heck's a cube? Oh, you mean like that square thing that's running around? Like, no, like, I need help with cubes. So it's like now you got to think of not just things that are being multiplied to itself, but it's being multiplied to itself 3 times. So that is going to be the hardest part. And it's true. That's the hardest part. Ruby, can you just explain how you decided to cube root the equation? All right. So what started it was I saw there's an x cube. Once I see there's an x cube and I notice 8 and 27, they're both perfect cubes. That's when I was like, all right, I got to cube root everything in order for me to find out what my AB is. So the cube root of 8 is 2. The cube root of x cubed is x. Bring down the minus sign. And the cube root of 27 is 3. So once you find out what your values of A is going to be, what the value of B is going to be, then you plug it in to the remaining parenthesis. Is this simplifying? Simplifying the difference and the sum of cubes. I thought 3 squared was 6. Well, I'm not going to call you stupid, Sarah, because you're not. Trust me, I'll be the first person to tell somebody that they're stupid. That's just me. But you're not stupid. So 3 squared is not 6. Because 3 squared is the base of 3 multiplied to itself 2 times. So 3 times 3, that will give me 9. A lot of people do this, 3 times 2. No, if this is an exponent, they're saying that this base is going to repeat itself 2 times. That's what the exponent is, okay? Okay, I get it now. Good. Not stupid, it's just square stuff. Right. Yep, just what Leanne said. Good. 3 squared means that, not that. You're not stupid. It's a common mistake. Exactly. Thank you for the positivity. This is why I like y'all. Can I do another example? I had a phone call. I missed this one. I'll work with cubes all the time in set design. Yes, definitely. Those 3-dimensional stuff. Oh, that makes so much sense. Okay, thank you. Not a problem. Do they always use numbers or can they just use the variable? For the cubing, they use the numbers and the variable for A. Always use the numbers and the variable for A. Let's see. If I do well, okay, I can do this one. All right, so I was trying to find a someone. I could do a someone. Okay. So if I have, getting crazy. So if I have 27x cubed plus 64, I'll just say 64. About the book. Taught you got off when you were saying about the book. So did I. But then I forgot there was a person that wanted to do difference of cubes, and I'm not sure who it is because I can't remember. So I'm just still here. How would it look if one of them were a perfect cube? If they weren't a perfect cube, then we wouldn't be doing any of this. We won't be doing any of this. We will just be factoring. So we'll just find the GCF. So anytime they say for you to factor, the first question you should always ask yourself is, do I have a GCF? Okay, because we haven't gotten to the factoring completely yet, which that's coming. Please let me take a snap. Sure. Oh, of the other stuff. What did I just do with it? Oh, okay. Here is the other one, Lisa. Let me know if you can see everything. So you can take a picture. Okay, let me know when you got it. Yes? Okay. Did you get it? Is that a yes for both? Okay. Is this asking for 27, 27, 27? Okay. It's asking for what number times itself to give me 27. So what number multiplied by itself can give me 27? Multiply itself 3 times. So it's not going to be 27 times 27 times 27. It's going to be a number times a number times a number. What is that number? What was the other tutor's name? I think she's in here. Lynette. I think she's with Learning with Lynette. Hello, Moody. How are you? Yes. Okay, so it is going to be 3 because 3 times 3 times 3 gives me my 27. Now, what's the cube root of x cubed? Good, good. Good, no, the algebra completed. Yes. Awesome. Okay, so it is going to be x. So we took the cube root of 27 to get 3. We took the cube root of x cubed to get x. This plus sign comes down. What do you think we're going to do with the 64? Cube root it. Awesome. Thank you, Moody. Okay, so we're not going to bring it down. We got to break it down. We got to break it down in order for it to come down. So we got a couple people are telling me it's 4, it's 4, it's 4. So Lisa, remember, we're not doing squares. So 8 times 8, that does give me 64. But we're thinking of cubes. You see how our brain just quickly goes to squares? It's so hard. Trust me, I get it. So what number times itself 3 times will give me 64? Okay, same thing, misbehaving. You're thinking squares. We gotta think of cubes. What times itself? There we go, guys. There we go. So this gives me 4. All right. So since I'm doing the sum of cubes, remember the formula is going to be a plus b. And then the second parenthesis is going to be a squared minus my ab plus my b squared. So what we just found, this 3x, that's going to be your a. The 4, that's going to be your b that you're going to use to substitute into the formula. So that means the first parenthesis is going to be what? Yes. Okay, yes. There we are. There we go. So 3x and what else? That's your A. Don't forget the plus sign, some of you guys. And then your B is the 4. Yes. Okay, plus 4. There you go. All right, there you go, misbehaving. There we are. So now, here's the second parenthesis. Okay, the second parenthesis is taking our a value. And remember, our a value is going to be 3x. And we're going to square it. So we're going to square that 3x. Not sure if that pen color is the one I should have picked. But we're going to, we're just going to draw right over that, make it into a nice little red. There we go. So much better. Okay, so 3x was my a, and now I'm squaring it. So I'm squaring the 3 and the x. Okay, I know, it's pretty color. Bring down the minus sign. So now we're going to multiply the a and the b. So the a is 3x. The b is 4. Okay. Plus sign, bring it down. Now we're going to square our b. Our b is 4, so we're going to square it. Times 4, yep, plus 4 squared. Good, Amber. There we go. Thanks, Moody. All right, yes, that middle term will be 12x. Good. So now, let's clean things up. The first parenthesis is exactly the same. So 3x plus 4. Now, 3x squared. That means we're going to square the 3 and we're going to square the x. So 3 squared is 3 times 3, which gives me 9. X is being raised to the second power, so that would be x squared. How are we feeling so far? All right, Giorgio. Excellent, Giorgio. Nice. Okay. Bring down the minus sign. Now multiply 3x times 4. 3 times 4 gives me 12. Bring down the x. Okay, good. Then at the end, bring down the plus sign. And then what's 4 squared? Good. There she is. There is it happening. There it is. All right. And guess what? This is your answer. All right. Question. Yes. Why are we bringing down the square? If we already squared the 3, we already squared the 3x. Why are we bringing down the square? Because, which one are we talking about? Are we talking about the 3x or are we talking about the 4? Amber, which one? Wouldn't it be just 9x? No. Because you got to square everything inside. You got to square the 3 and the x. Because think about this. If you do the distributive property, so if I do distributive property, so I have 3x plus 4 times 9x squared minus 12x plus 16. If I'm doing FOIL, well, it's not really FOIL, it's just distributing. 3x times 9x squared, that's going to give me my 27x cubed. That's what we started off with. If it's just 9x, that means I'm going to get 27x squared. Then I'm missing an x. So we gotta fill that other x. So that's why this 3x has to be squared. You're squaring the 3 and you're squaring the x. Okay, I see it now. Awesome. Good, no problem. Okay, I'm burnt. I am done. TikTok is probably like, what is this chick? Why all of a sudden there's like a huge flux of people learning to do math? Like, what is going on? All right, I try. No problem. And I know it's tough because everyone has jobs, you have families, and trust me, I try to take that in consideration with the time. It's almost 11 o'clock here. I'm just going to take a quick nap before I go to the gym. Gotta get this body together. Awesome, thank you. Do you have a YouTube account? I do. If you go to, I'll put it in the chat. So ACG Math Tutoring. Okay. Oh, if I can spell tutoring. Ooh, this is crazy. Okay. So ACG Math Tutoring. I do have a YouTube channel. Now, if anything ever go awry with TikTok, that would be the best place to go. So if you want to subscribe, you can. Right now, I've been putting a lot of the shorts that is with all these lives, because for me to download a 3 to 4 hour live, it's exhausting, guys, and it's painful. I am a business person of one. I'm a solopreneur. So I don't have a VA. I don't have any of that. So anything that you see, I do. Like any of the posts that I put together, sometimes I use AI, sometimes I don't, because sometimes they cut it off in a weird spot. So, are you a math teacher in school? No, I'm not in school anymore. I left the classroom like 5 years ago today, believe it or not. I just noticed the date. And I'm not gonna go back. I love the kids. I kind of miss like seeing like my kids, but all the foolishness, it was too much. I can't. Okay, what's the name of the lady who teaches this math? Yeah, there she is, Learning with Lynette. Yep. I subbed. Woo, girl, I couldn't even be a sub, please. People be calling about their kid all the time. I'm like, did you know your child just tried to throw something? Oh, hell no. I couldn't do that. I'm already subscribed to your YouTube channel. Yay! Wow. I bet that was a big decision. It was. I was married at the time, but my husband didn't do much of anything. I married a man-child. So now I'm recently divorced, going through that. Like, that was March of last year. A little bit about me. Let me tell you about my life. So yeah, I just got to the point just before, it was 2 weeks before the schools closed down for the pandemic, that I told my principal I was not going to come back. I just started my online tutoring business, and like months before, with like maybe 1 or 2 kids. So that first year was terrible. Like, oh God. It was terrible. Didn't make any money. I was just using all my savings. And the second year, that's when it started to build up. And now it's really starting to build, especially word of mouth. So that's why I'm expanding with the notebooks. I also have coloring books for young ladies, and also a planner for young ladies, especially if they're in girls groups. I just really want to support as many students as I can. And I just like what I do. I did not want to leave education. I just had to leave the classroom. It was really killing me. I'm a teacher and I'm about ready to leave. I know. Well, here's my thing. If anything, if you want to learn how to do tutoring, because I'm also a tutor mentor, just shoot me a message and we'll just sit down and just have a chin wag and just talk about it. I'd rather you have yourself somewhat situated before you leave, because you don't want to leave and all of a sudden like, yeah, all these people are going to be, I'm going to tutor all these kids. And then all of a sudden you're like, what's up with the crickets, you know? So just let me know. I'm a middle school teacher. They teach algebra and geometry. Okay. See, that would be great, because there's tons. They need tutors, believe it or not. They need tutors, and if they keep treating us poorly, they're going to be needing teachers soon, and soon enough, we're going to have to make our that. No to your YouTube. Okay. All right. Thank you for teaching on Home and Talk. We need you here. I really thought it was a joke. I'm sorry. I really thought it was a joke. I wanted to join that, but then I got to it too late. But I'm hearing it's a whole mess, and they're trying to finagle their stuff together. I wish you the very best and the softest life possible for you. Thank you. Good night, Miss and everyone. Good night, Lisa. Awesome job today. I'm hoping you're still here, that you can hear that. I do tutoring as well. Nice. Okay, we need to chit chat and just see how business is going, because this is the time of year to get kids. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, I'm just, yeah. Thank God I don't have a kid tonight, so at least I can get some kind of sleep. I'll keep in mind, this is just too much. Yes. Oh, Amber. Being special ed, and especially for me, teaching math, I'm always in meetings. I was always that teacher. Always. It's supposed to be the math and English. I was always that teacher. And they're like, oh, Miss Audrey is amazing. I'm like, ugh. Miss Audrey is burning out. Miss Audrey is crispy. We're treated terribly. No, it's not the kids. They're no. Are you in Florida? I'm not. I'm in Maryland. Okay, you're not late. Your teaching says we're automatically enrolled by watching. Okay. I just want to cry today from what they decided today. This isn't right for the kid. No, they just really do care about their money. I hate to say it. It's all about how much we can get per kid and how much we can get these kids quickly on track to go into the jails so we can get more money in someone else's pocket. I said what I said because I've lost a lot of students. Last year sucked for me. Just sucked so bad. Oh my God. I lost so many kids to unliving themselves. I had to figure out what they do. Unliving themselves. There was a lot of kids that had contracts on their heads, a lot of gang affiliation. Some of them were just in the wrong place, wrong time. It was like almost every weekend. I think it was like 2 months. I felt like every weekend I was at a funeral. It was just like, it was too much. It was too much. I don't even know how I survived 2024. I really don't. Yeah, I really don't. Good night. See you again. Yes. Good job today. I'll bring paper. Not a problem. Good job, Bebopula. I love your name. Okay, cool. Exactly. You said what you said, and it's facts. Yeah. It's like, oh my goodness. Sorry to hear that. I know. It was hard. It's hard, but good night. Good night, everyone. Yes, thank you. Please remind me because I will keep hammering on. But I would love to even just talk with educators and like whatever your next steps, if you guys want to, what are some things that you could possibly tweak, maybe even just to have another tutor to say, hey, at least now I know what you tutor and I can, pass some people on to you. So now you can tutor people in different states because in Florida, you guys start earlier than us in Maryland. So you could probably keep the train moving if you get some people up here in Maryland. All right. So thank you for your stream. Not a problem. Thank you for coming in, guys. Have a lovely evening. And I will probably see you guys tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. We're going to be doing more with the equation of line. Oh, point slope. We're going to be looking at point slope and doing some graphing. All right. Have a great night. Take care. Bye.